What's up, everybody? Welcome. Okay, I caught you trying to run away from the stream. Welcome, everyone, to Fix Collab Behind the Scene. I'm your host, Fitri Joroji, and today with me, we have our CTO, Abdul Hakim. So, Hakim, say hi.
Hi.
So, what are we going to talk about today, Hakim? I heard that we have something very interesting to talk about today.
Yeah. Oh, so the thing that I would love to talk today is about what we call or what we known as a no-code or low-code solution. Okay. And so for those who never heard about this term before, what does that mean? It does mean what is it programming or whatever? So basically, to put it in plainly, it's basically a solution that you can craft without the knowledge of technical programming or coding, per se. So that's why we call it low or no code. Low / or no code, right? So it's either you have to write some code or either you doesn't even have to write any code at all, right? So that's the gist about what you call no code or low code solution. And if I were to give an example, just roughly surface that we use is, for example, probably everyone know about is WordPress and Elementor. So that is something that we call no code or low code solution, because if you compare to traditional way to make a website, we have to write the code, set up a server and everything, and you have to write your code, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, and everything. But compared to WordPress, you log in, open up your Elementor, drag and drop, customize a little bit here and there. It doesn't even touch. If you want, if you can, but it doesn't necessarily need to have coding knowledge in order to deploy a WordPress website. So just that the gist of it.
So guys, we are going to touch deeper into this no code, low code. But before that, I'll play the intro. Welcome to Fix Collab BTS. So, welcome guys. My name is Fitri Joroji, and in this show, what we're going to do is we are going to bring you tech-related news. We are going to share with you what is currently in trend when it comes to technology, when it comes to development, when it comes to what's going on around us in terms of, technology, basically. So we've had a few episodes before this, and we've covered topics like crypto, we've covered topics like VR, we've covered topic like AR, we've also covered topic about sales, we've covered yesterday about project management, and today we are going to talk about something that is gaining traction here in Malaysia. It's called no-code solution. So before that, let me just do introduction of who we are. My name is Fitri, and I run a company called Fix Collab. Basically, we are a UI UX design agency. We do mobile app, we do website, we do ERP, and our goal for this show is to bring you all the news to keep you updated on what is happening and make sure that you are aware of things around you. So today we have our CTO. He got disconnected, so don't worry, we'll wait for him. And just give you guys a little bit of background. What is this no-code solution? So being a development agency ourselves, we face a lot of potential client on a daily basis, whereby they come to us and then they want to build either web app, they want to build mobile app, or they want to build just a simple website. And 9 times out of 10, when they reach out to us, the intention is to always build something that is full-blown. What I mean by full-blown, something that does everything from, you can imagine a full-blown app, right? But here's the catch. A lot of times, if you want to build a full-blown app, the problem would be it will take a long time, and 9 times out of 10, that long time would mean higher costs. So this is where a lot of companies get stuck. Okay, they know that I wanted to have this piece of technology that will solve my problem, But at the same time, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. So today we are going to talk about this alternative towards building this solution. It's called no code / low code, where instead of us building the system via coding, we use an existing tool out there and put together a solution that works for you guys. Give me a second, guys. All right. We have Hakim here. Welcome, brother. I think you're muted. Let me just unmute you.
Hi, sorry for that. Yeah, we have
Slight
technical
hiccup, guys.
difficulty. Yep. Is it just me or I can't see you? Okay.
I'm back.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with telling people. I mean, just now, whoever came in earlier, you guys, he gave a little bit of description of what no code is.
Mm-hmm.
But why should people care about no code?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're asking why people should care about it, it's because we have to look at our environment today, right? Compared to, let's say, 30 years ago, right? Yes, we do have computer 30 years ago, right? What is 1991, right? For example, yeah, we have computer, but the computer back then is not as powerful as today, and it's not as portable as today, right? But today, basically everyone have computer. Your phone is your computer, right? You have the computing power everywhere, and people are using computer almost every single second in their life. Almost some people doesn't even can let go of their computer from their hand, especially.
I don't think people can. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who can function. I mean,
Especially
this is my
in a
own
modern,
bias. Correct. Like, I don't think, I can't imagine living without my laptop, dude. Like, I just cannot imagine.
And yeah, that's fundamental. It's become the fundamental of our life today, our lifestyle. But we have to remember all this computer running off software. So you need software to be run on this computer in order it to be useful. So everything around us now is more or less is powered by software one way or another. I mean, probably there's few niches that we still haven't have a software or computer in that area, but majority of life today, whether we want to communicate, whether we want to work, whether we want to play, whether we want education, everything is now one way or another is connected to software and computer, right? So software has become an integral part of our life, and this no code and low code solution, is actually make it more accessible for people to develop software or solution, a digital solution that actually cater to their needs, right? But the thing is, back in the past, if you want to have a software specialized just for your needs, let's say for you to make a survey, for example, right? If you go 30 years back, where there's no Google Form, for example, look at Google Form, right? Where there's no Google Form, you have to hire a programmer to actually develop a page, develop the server, develop the database, right? And then you can send the link to other people. But of course, you need an upfront cost to hire the programmer, and you have to also pay for the server and for all other service that related to hiring a programmer to deploy your survey form. But today, you can just go to Google, click Google Form, set up your question, and once you're done, you click send, and you can send to any people that you want to get input from for your survey, right? So it's lower the barrier of entry for you to develop your own digital solution that cater to your needs. So what we are seeing right now, the no-code or low-code solution, is basically giving people, or what I would say, masses, more power to actually develop their own digital solution that cater specifically for their needs, and they can do it without even technical knowledge, or even without hiring technical people in order to do it for them. So
Without hiring us.
Yeah, I mean, technically yes, but yeah, that's how I think the world gonna rolling. So this no code local solution gonna be more and more of it. I mean, we have Google Form, and then we have WordPress, and many more solution out there that you can even use in order to achieve your digital needs, because everything right now about software. So now everyone can do your own e-form and everything, right? So it's important for us to know about care about this no-code solution, because in the future we might see, you doesn't even have to think to eat what to eat for lunch or dinner. It might be, already a no-code solution. Just click one button, and for the 1 week, all the menu have been set up for you. We doesn't know in the future what it gonna be, right? In a week, your menu have been decided by the software, and then you just wait for the food come in. I don't know, it's a bit exaggerating, but it's something that actually could be happening.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. This no code, is it a methodology or is it an approach? And why is the thing here in Malaysia itself, in the country, the awareness about this no code thing is not there yet. We technology people, we are aware of it, but it seems like the masses are not yet aware of it, and they're not fully capitalizing the power of this no code. So what is it actually? Is it an approach? Is it a tool? Is it a tool called no code? Is it an approach? Is it a philosophy?
I think okay. So personally, I would view no code and low code is as the how should I put it? Is a way of approaching things. It's, but I mean, you could consider it as a methodology approach. Basically, it's one of the method for you to get people to use your software, right? So the idea behind no code solution is that supposedly anyone can use the platform. Either you are using Google, either you are using WordPress, either you are using Webflow. Supposedly everyone can just jump into your platform and craft what they need based on what they want it to be able to do, right? So for example, if you jump into Google Form, you want to be able to create your own Google electronic form. So basically, if you want to create a website, you jump into WordPress, and supposedly when you jump into WordPress, you should be able to create your website without technical knowledge or without technical person to help you, or without you to hire anyone else to do it for you. So the idea behind it, the ideology is that you should be able to do it by yourself, basically DIY, right? So it's basically DIY, but for programming in a sense. So the approach is that you're supposed to be able to do it by yourself, and
Why though? Why would
yeah.
company be bothered to do all this software themselves? Like, what's the benefit of it?
So the benefit of it is that you will be getting to much more people, because you have to, I mean, as a technology company, of course you can create a really powerful legacy software, but if the software can only be used by programmer that you have need to 3 years of experience to use the software, that means the number of people that to be able to use this software are going to be really small market, right? So in order to grow, this company needs to make the software much more accessible, much more approachable, easy to understand, and even to the level, maybe we can say this is dummy proof, right? So into that level, so that they can go to masses where there's more people and more market to capitalize on. But that's one side of I would say the business side. But on the other side as well is that people are demanding more complex software day by day. I mean, back then, if we're
100%.
looking at GIF moving, it's already like wow, it's very fancy, right?
True.
It's very fancy. If you look at 15 years ago, having a GIF in your website is already fancy. Have a song in your MySpace. Okay, for those who are older enough to remember what's MySpace. So having a song
Background
playing,
song, yeah.
background song playing on your MySpace is something like
was the
wow,
coolest
this is
thing.
really cool. It's the coolest thing, right? But really few people that be able to do that. I mean, you have to dig down to the setting, really go through, edit here, edit there, and then upload it back to your MySpace. So it's not really, easy. I mean, it still can be done, but you need quite technical knowledge in order to do that. But now you can just go to Facebook. Oh, I can select. Oh, I don't even need to upload anything. I just select. Oh, this is my favorite song. This is my my favorite GIF or whatever. And you can even send GIF to your to your friend. I mean, back then we have SMS, but now we just use Messenger or WhatsApp, whatever. We can send GIF through that, right? So people are demanding much more complex, much more fancy software in their life, right? So as the more people are asking for this, there's an incentive for all these big company to actually make this technology to the ground, to the people, so that they can use it, and so that they can capitalize based on the technology that they have, for example. So I think that is from the market side and also from the business side as well.
Right. In fact, I want to add something to that. We've been in the web development, app development space for the past 3-4 years, and we are seeing actually a trend where people want, like, I agree 100% with you again. People want more and more things because, we are, for a lack of a better word, spoiled with a lot of applications out there that actually solve a lot of things with just a tap of a button. I mean, just look at Uber. You no longer have to. I remember when I was in school back then, I was using taxi to go back to my house after school, and I
Yeah.
dread that every day having to find that main road to just
Yeah.
hi, hi. And the moment I finally got a taxi, I'll go, finally I don't have to put my face by the big road, and then
Yeah.
have all these taxis look at me and okay, I'll pick this guy up. So people want more complex solution because that's just life is these days. And there are already all these solutions. Let's say, if I want to put a form, I can use Google Form. If I want to have a Word document that I can share online, I can have my Google Docs. Or if I want to get data, I can store them in Excel. But 9 times out of 10, I will still have to transfer the data, the data collected from one place to another, and this actually creates this workflow of us constantly jumping from one app to another app. Let me just ask you, Hakim, how many tabs do you have open right now on
Okay,
your
let me
browser?
count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
And I can tell you 14 is the default number of tabs you have these days.
Yeah.
So because of this, guys, a lot of companies, they, at least for us, they reached out to us. They wanted to build a system that automates this whole thing, that automates the entry of data, and then the bookkeeping of the data, and then the migration of data and reporting of data. But 9 times out of 10, when we are going to build this solution via a custom code way, it will be, number one, complex. Number two, it will take some time. And obviously, because of the complexity of it, it will come with a cost, right? How they can still do this with no code? Is it possible?
Um, yeah, that's really interesting question. Okay, I think just to give,
Yeah.
context, right? So even in our own company ourselves, right? So if you look at probably 3 years ago, people are asking for a website, right? They're asking for a website because that is what our people want. But this day, when they come to us, is they are not just asking for a website. They're also asking, hey, can it also be an app? People start to seeing this thing as, like I mentioned earlier, people want more and more and more, right? So back then, 2 years ago, app is just like, okay, only developer can do it, right? But now, even, right now, we have reached to the point where even a common people want an app of their own. So this is where the demand coming from, and all the company are actually try to capitalize on the market, try to make a app builder that is easy to use for the mass market, right? But of course, for the company, right? For the company, let's say for the business that are looking to use no code in their workflow or in their processes. So one of the things that local solution and how you can do this is basically like Prithvi mentioned earlier, that right now Nokia local solution is not, I would say, unified in a sense. As so far as I know, there's no such like open standard for connecting no code solution together in order to create a cohesive environment. So you kind of like Prithvi say, jumping from one platform to another platform. You can use Google Form, and then you use WordPress, and then you use Glide, for example, if you want to make your own app. So you are also jumping around all this platform because this platform doesn't connect together, right? And for the business, it's the same thing. Let's say if you use, for example, what is the accounting software? I forgot its name.
It's a lot.
Wave, yeah,
Ways, yeah.
yeah, Wave, for example, right? For you as a business, you are using Wave for your accounting, and then you use Google Drive for your safekeeping data and everything. And then I don't know, maybe you use a Google Form for for filling order or whatever. And then you also have Shopify Shop as well. So you have a lot of things that not well. I mean, there's some of them that actually can integrate together, but not all of them connecting, right? So thankfully, that's actually this innovation in the space that I'm not sure what they call it. It's basically connecting all these no-code solutions together. So one of the famous is Zapier. So Zapier is basically a platform. So Zapier is also a no-code and low-code solution. But rather than you have to hire a developer to connect your no-code solution together, make automation. Okay, if you have order on Shopify, update it in my Wave accounting app, and then if I have a receipt or any payment data, just send to my Google Drive. You can do it. You can do it without Zapier, but you have to hire a developer to connecting this together.
Connect them.
So
Yep.
yeah. So right now, all this stuff is being consolidated for Zapier. So Zapier is basically hub. I would say it's a hub or connecting point where you can integrate. So instead of you integrating your Shopify shop straight into your Wave accounting app and your accounting Wave app to your Google Drive, instead you go, so all your app connect to Zapier and they will connect through the Zapier. It's like in a highway. So basically, your Google Drive connect to Zapier, your Shopify connect to Zapier, your Wave app accounting app connect to Zapier, and then let's say you have an order in your Shopify, we go to Zapier, and then Zapier will aggregate the data, look where it should be sent, whether it should be sent to your Google Drive or it should send to your accounting first. And then let's say, for example, it's go to your accounting with app first. And then after you process it, okay, maybe you set another task that, okay, when you finish process the invoice or whatever, go back to Zapier and then save the invoice PDF to Google Drive. And then so it go to Zapier, and then Zapier look at again, where should I aggregate the data? Oh, I should go to Google Drive. So you're gonna save the file in the Google Drive. So basically, thanks to this innovation, Zapier is one of basically the prominent name in the space for this kind of ability. Actually, there are a few other more, but compared to others, I would say personally, I would say Zapier is one of the more. There's a lot of app actually support it. So you more or less good to go with Zapier, but with other platforms, kind of a bit of hit and miss. So depend on what kind of app that you try to use. So the idea is this kind of Zapier or connecting platform that allow you to connect things together, that allow businesses, small businesses, SME, or even big corporate to automate a lot of their tasks. For example, right, if you have internal meeting, you have to send survey to your internal stuff, for example, and instead of you go to your Google Drive, why not just take your Google Drive data and put it has a graph and everything already on your your what we call it Salesforce. So say you using your Salesforce as your main uh, uh, internal system. So instead of you have to go to Google Drive, you can connect it together with Zapier, and then you can see all the data in your system. So you doesn't have to open many tab like mine right now. It's 14 tab right now. We have 14 platform, right? But I mean that's for business side. Yeah.
Right. I think what I want to stress here is maybe to some of you guys, if you guys are running some businesses, you don't see the why do I need to automate this whole thing. But there'll come a point where you will start to look for places where you can cut inefficiencies. And by automating these processes, just to give you guys an example, we have a client. Before this, the client runs an e-commerce store. So when order comes in, what they have to do is they would have to send that order to the courier company, and then the logistic company will give them a tracking number, and then the tracking number will now have to be notified to the customer manually, right? So there is actually quite a bit of processes there. But with this integration, it's all automated. So the customer, the client, the business owner doesn't have to notify the logistic company. Once the order comes in, the logistic company gets notified. They'll come and pick up the stuff, and then once they picked up stuff, they enter in their dashboard, and the dashboard automatically feeds the tracking number to the user who purchased through our client's website. Now, before this would require a one-man job, where every day that's their whole work, is to just make sure all these orders are sent out properly. But with automation, with no code, with what Hakim said, this Zapier thing, the customer, like the end user, in our context, would actually receive a WhatsApp notification thanking them for purchasing. And in there, they will have their tracking number. And how cool is that? Like, not only you get to provide an experience that is slightly better than everybody else, but you do it without having to do it, all via the power of a software. So that's just one benefit of it. But obviously, we have big companies reaching out to us. They are aware of all this, but yet they still want to have their own system. Like, they don't want to be using, let's say in this context, they don't want to be using Zoom. They want to build their own Zoom. They don't want to be storing data on Google Drive. They want to have their own cloud storage. But why is that, Hakim? Like, why would certain companies still insist that they want to have their own system? In fact, I can tell you, a lot of big companies out there, they would obviously start they would typically start with no code approach, where they put all these things together by linking things, and then as they grow big, they would want to build their own version of that no code that they've put together. And why is that?
All right. So yeah, when we talk about that, why when at a certain point businesses will go into crafting their own system. So there's a few elements that we can look at here. First, we can look into the element of scale. Second is risk management, and then the third is actually efficiency and cost as well. So if we look at the first element, which is the first element again? I'm just lost myself just now.
Cost.
Oh no, okay. Cost. We have cost efficiency, and then we also have risk, and also have what the first one I said earlier. I forgot. Okay, never mind. So let's go with the risk management first. So the thing about no code solution, no code local solution. I mean, before we just talked about all the good thing about no code solution, but there's nothing perfect in the world, right? So there's always pro and cons. So what is the? I mean, we talked a lot about the pros, but now let's discuss a little bit about the cons of no code local solution. So first of all, is the cons of a no code local solution is that you have to, let's say you are using a lot of services that you connect together. That means you have to subscribe to a lot of services, and you have to have a lot of login credential as well, right? Login credential, you have to remember everything. If you have a password manager, then it's good for you. But of course, at the same time, as well, that all this platform is not managed by centralized power or centralized management. So they have their own hate. I mean, they have their own management. So you don't. I mean, the assurance that one day, maybe next week, one of them suddenly go down, and then your process gonna be interrupted. I mean, your business process gonna be interrupted. Let's say, for example, suddenly your Shopify go down, or the Shopify go bankrupt. Who know, right? Maybe next week Shopify go bankrupt, and then your your online shop is not working anymore. So you are opening yourself to the risk, right? The risk of when one of them on one of the process go down, you pretty much have to cover for it. I mean, you doesn't have control over it because you don't have power over the platform. You're only a user, right? They're connecting together. So that's the first thing about the risk, the advantage of local solution when I mentioned in terms of risk management is that you are vulnerable to the mercy of the platform owner, basically. So if a platform owner decide to shut down, I mean, go bankrupt, or just leave up the space, we just want to stop, and then you start with it, and you have to reinvent your process again with the
Right.
platform that available to you. So that's in uh, risk management side. And then on term of like efficiency, for example, efficiency, right? Yes, all these existing platform make it easy, but because they are again from a separate company, from a separate management, that means they are not designed to be efficient to work with others. What I mean by to work with others is that, because Shopify is not designed by the same person that designed WordPress, right? And to some degree, they might even a rival to each other. So there's some incentive for, there's not some incentive, basically there's an incentive not to make it an efficient process to connect these two services together. But of course, we do have a Zapier. But again, Zapier also is not the also vulnerable to the risk of that. Let's say Zapier go down or Zapier system go down, and then all your process doesn't work. Then you have to scramble out, right? So in terms of efficiency, even though we have Zapier, the thing is you have to go to another point in order to get to another software, right? So in terms of efficiency, that means you are open up that you have to go one another step in order to achieve one task. Compare if you design your own system, you can just connect, okay, from my e-commerce website straight away to go my accounting system without there's no friction there. There's no need to go around or go wherever. I mean, go to Zapier. There's no need. Just go away to your system, and you have the control over this two system. So they doesn't have to worry about someone gonna shut down or whatever, because it's under you. You manage it, right?
Makes
That's in terms
sense.
of efficiency. So it makes it things much more efficient. But and then also in terms of time, is that yeah, the first one is the skill. I just remember. So in terms of skill, no code solution, because they are independent platform. So you doesn't they each one of them have a their own
Restriction.
limitation in term, yeah, their own limitation in terms of how big they can scale, right? Depend on how big you want to scale your business, the platform might not be able to serve you, you know they might not be able to serve you for forever. Let's say let's say you start with 1,000 customer. Okay, the platform still within the platform expectation, and then suddenly you grow 10x, and now you have 10,000 users. Okay, the platform said, okay, we can still support you. But let's say suddenly the next year you become 1 million, 1 million customer, 2 million customer. I mean, yes, the platform can decide, but more or less you won't be able to be like what you starting as like 1,000 customer, because you basically outgrown their platform. And this was just we're talking about one platform, about other platform what we're talking about. So when you outgrown the platform, you're pretty much the out of option. So in the end of the day, you still need to build up your own infrastructure basically in order to serve or scale properly in the end of the day. So that's the thing that you have to look into. So basically, like I mentioned earlier, so you have to understand the risk, right? Risk if one of them go down or bankrupt or stop business. Second is your efficiency, right? In terms of like how 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 you can control over your system and how efficient you can go through the data from one system to another system. And third is your skill. So when you outskill the platform, you pretty much you have to build your own.
All right. So is it safe to say that when you first start, guys, low code or no code solution is the smarter move? But as you grow, you want to start looking into, hey, now that we are growing, we'll reach a point where we will start outgrowing this current tech that we have. So we want to start
Mm-hmm.
building our own tech, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now let's talk about what are your top low code, no code solution, because I think that's what the value that we can give to people. You have already
Mm-hmm.
understood what is low code. You've already understood the pros and cons of it. Now let's look at some really good examples that people may not be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my challenge to you. What are the no code out there that I didn't know of? That people can actually build
Mm-hmm.
without having to hire developer.
Oh yeah, that's okay. That's very interesting. So I just give you some of thing that is really fascinating to me. There's actually a no-code solution for you to create a corporate video. I forgot what his name. Wait.
Google, is it?
Let's not go there. I forgot the name. Excuse me. Okay, never mind. Let's scrap that first until I remember the name. Do you know that there's a no-code solution, or basically AI, that can actually generate a music for you? Your own, either you want orchestral music. So, for example, for especially those who are making video, copyright music and everything, it can be hassle, to find a free royalty video or music, right? But there's a platform out there that, I mean, the alternative for that, I mean, besides using a free royalty, is that you have to hire a musician to create music for you, to produce a music for you, that music producer to create a music for you. Right now, we also have a third option, which is a no-code solution where you can just jump in and you just put some input, what type of music do you want to hear, and what kind of audio that should have a vocal, it should have trumpet, it should have piano, whatever, and then the AI gonna generate it for you, and then voila, you have your own music that's uniquely for you. It's like having a musician crafting it for you, but it's by a system, and it can be done in less than 5 minutes, and then you can use it for free. It's your one is subscribed to the platform. The ownership of the music is yours, right? And then doesn't have to worry about it, right? So the let me, I don't remember what the name is. Let me try to remember what is the music generator AI. I really like. I subscribe to their YouTube just because their music is so good. It doesn't even realize that it's actually generated by AI. That
Is this Boom?
AI.
Is it called Boomy?
It's not I don't think so. Not open. It's not Boomy. It's something like blue tint color generated music AI. Let me quickly find.
It's pretty cool. There's actually a lot of it. If you guys
There's a lot.
are
There's a
aware
lot
of
of
it.
it. I want to. One of my favorite, Iva. Yes, Iva.ai. So if you can go to their YouTube channel, they have really, really cool music, and you won't believe me. If you close your eyes without knowing that this is actually generated by AI, they also have a vocal. I mean, you can put like people like opera, like that in your orchestra music. That is, it sounds like a really, really good composer that actually crafting for you. That's one of it. Now you can create your own music. Second is, I would recommend. I mean, if you want to create your own app, but it won't be as a complex app, I would recommend Glide app, app.com. So that's another platform that I think is
Hold
very
up, hold
cool
up, hold up.
because
I think let's just explain the power of this software to people, guys. With this Glide, I mean, obviously, I think, to me, my opinion is that the only reason why people are not jumping on no code is because the fact that they have to learn how to navigate through the system. But if you take that time, gentlemen and ladies, the amount of money that you could save, because I mean, I'm not trying to say that don't hire us. Probably if you want to scale, you want to build a big app, then you can talk to development agency. But if you want to start off, let's say you start a startup, then don't even bother to go to an agency. Look at Glide. And with this, guys, you are able to build an app via, what is it, Hakim?
Via Google spreadsheet. So
Yes,
let's say
very
you
right.
have
Google spreadsheet, guys. Imagine with Google spreadsheet, you can eventually build an app.
exactly.
It sounds too good to be true, but give it a shot. Have a look at it. And the cool thing about all these no-code platform is that they've already created all these templates for you guys. Meaning that, hey, you don't have to start from scratch. All it takes is just a little bit of sweat equity, a little bit of your time to understand how it works. the moment you get the gist of how it works, hey, you can even probably start your own no-code agency, guys. You can probably
Exactly.
start, making money, getting people to hire you to build apps. So that's Glide. And I can tell
Yep.
you there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of low-code solution out there that you could try, right?
Yep.
To start looking at this is to just, you can go a quick Google search, say top low-code, no-code solutions. And I can't tell you which one you should go for. It's a trial and error. We play with a lot of these low-code solutions ourselves on a daily basis. Heck, we even created our own low-code solution, a web builder that we put together to help people put together a website in less than an hour. But obviously that we haven't launched to public. If once we launch it, obviously we will, do our shameless plug here. but but that is just one of the many options out there. So what are your advice, Hakim, for people who, now that we've established that, hey, if you're new, a smarter move is to go low code, and as you grow, then look into building a custom solution. What would your advice be, let's say, for a startup? But here's the catch: I have the money. Should I spend it on tech, or should I put my own no code version of the tech? Which one do you think, or would you advise from your point of view? Like, obviously, it can be right, it can be wrong, but what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah. So answer to that question is actually another question is how have you validated your idea? Are your idea actually working? What I mean by that is, have you actually get a customer, whether it's manually or one way or another? So if you already validated your idea and already confident with all your process flow and everything, I would say it's much more efficient for you to starting develop your own tech, because you already know what you want specifically, what your process gonna be, what your customer experience gonna be. Then go for the tech, because in the end of the day, if you already have a validated idea, if you're already confident with the idea, you start gaining traction for it. You want to scale fast. So if you want to scale fast, whether you want, one way or another, you need to build your own tech. So if you're already at that stage, go for your own tech if you have the money.
What
But
Hakim is trying to say is hire Fix Collab, guys. When
yeah,
he say go for the tech, it's hire us.
yeah.
Okay, back to you.
But if your stage is you're still figuring out, you are still not having this clear market target, or you still figure out things, you can go with no code. I mean, can instead invest on low code and no code solution, because they give you flexibility to change your idea, change your way of process for doing work. Or maybe if you suddenly think that, okay, this market doesn't work for us, for this market, we can shift to another market. Let's see whether our solution or idea work for another market. And no code solution giving you flexibility, to change, because you can just subscribe, and then it doesn't feel like it's gonna fit with your idea or your startup process flow. Can just pull out, subscribe to another platform, right? So again, the answer to the question is whether how validated is your idea. Are you confident enough that have you figured out everything in terms of a business before? If you already figured out your business thing, then you can go with tech. If you haven't yet finalized your business thing, then I think I would advise you to go for the no-code and local solution.
Wow. Hakim, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us about this. Obviously, this is not going to be the first, this is going to be the last that we will have you on the show. Guys, you heard that. So if you run a business, and if you wanted to build a tech, but you are not sure whether this is the right way of building the tech, then you could go the low code, no code approach. And once things get validated, obviously it's very simple. When things get validated, you start making money, you start
Yep.
thinking about the bigger risk. You don't want to be, frustrating all your users. So that's when you start looking into all this custom tech. All right. So that is it from our show today, gentlemen. Hakim, any last thing you want to tell the people before we end it?
Okay, yeah, sure. Let me think something. Nah,
If yeah, I have a question for you. If
yeah.
there is a no code solution that you wish existed, what would it be?
What would it be?
Yeah.
Oh, God,
What's
so
something that you wish people have created that, hey, I don't have to do all these things?
hmm. That's a tough
Well,
question.
the
What?
the, the, the answer, the solution might be out there. It's just it's outside of our radar or
Yeah,
awareness.
it could be. It could be.
But what is
No,
it?
I'm trying to look at what a problem that I actually thought that I should. I mean, it could be software, right? So I think personally, okay, I'm mean this a bit weird. But I would love to have something that solution that allow me to have a like uh, a I would say it's outfit or clothes. So it's clothes subscription kind of thing. What I mean by clothes subscription kind of thing is like, okay, you keep track how long I've been using the clothes. For example, like 6 months, and then when I go to 6 months, okay, you can send me another clothes, for example. And this clothes design or any is already I mean, it's based on my preference. I don't know whether it's through a survey or through a questionnaire or whatever. Maybe okay, this on January they sent me a really this NASA T-shirt, for example, right? And then the next on April they sent me something that maybe on JavaScript or HTML programmer kind of thing, right? So it could be that T-shirt that cater to my preference and is scheduled to me, and then they can also, if I want to dispose my clothes, for example, I can just send back to them, and then they're gonna properly dispose it, right? So
Okay.
if we can have this if basically what I'm thinking is like a circular economy where you get what you want based on your preference, and then when it doesn't need it, they give you a new one, and then you send them the dispose the one that you want to dispose, and they're gonna dispose it properly. Because from my knowledge is that clothes is not as easy as you think to dispose. It depends on your fabric. Some of them have linen, some of them have cotton, right? So linen, some of it is plastic, and sometimes their fiber can break down, and essentially can go to the ocean. And this fiber is very small; you can't even see it, but it exists in our ocean, or this scatter around. We call it microplastic. So if we can have circular like subscription outfit like this, they properly dispose it for you instead of you randomly put in dumpster or whatever. This is something that I would love to have. I'm not sure whether it's a no code or low code solution,
It's
but
it's more like a startup idea that
yeah,
that
it's
is
more
not
like
here
startup.
yet.
Yeah, I wish something like this existed, because it solves my worry, to buy new clothes. I doesn't have to go shopping. Okay, that's my first worry. Second is my worry about the environment. So my consciousness about environmental is solved by, I know this company know what they are doing. They know how to dispose it properly. So
Right.
yeah, that's my I don't think
Interesting.
it's no cause association. It's more like startup or
An
business
idea.
idea. Yeah.
Right. Right.
I know
Right.
if
And
you
I
want, if anyone want to hear more detail, I will just contact in contact with me. I will give you more input. I would love everyone to do it, because I need something that is, I don't want to think about what outfit I need to buy next, and I
Hakim
don't want to think
Hakim
how
will
to do it
invest in you
properly.
guys. You guys heard that? He will invest in you.
Yeah, it depends on how strong is your team. I might invest on you.
Right. 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 You know what I thought is cool is, you have a fridge. Imagine a fridge, and then you have a screen in front of the fridge, and then that screen, because you see, when you work from home, right? Probably when we were working from the office, the question during lunchtime is, guys, where to eat? When you work from home, the question now becomes, hey guys, what to cook,
Ah,
right? And if there is a startup that, built this screen in front of a fridge, whereby you have all the recipes, and then, and if there is no such ingredient, I can just order the ingredient, So imagine, let's say, I put in an order. This is I want to cook spaghetti carbonara for 3 packs, right? And then the fridge say that you don't have this ingredient. Would you like to order this ingredient?
Mhm.
And then the ingredient that I'm ordering is actually catered to the exact amount I need to cook that particular carbonara. So I don't end up over purchasing on grocery. Because this is an interesting fact. Do you know that 97% of shoppers actually overbought the quantity of the groceries they need, the raw materials they need? Like we don't need 9 times out of 10 we probably need this falls back to our human psychology, where because we want to prepare for something in the future, so we thought to ourselves, okay, let's buy 3 of these so that I don't have to. But in the reality is, once you're done to one, you'll buy another 3, so you never actually use that extra one. It's just sitting there all the whole time. So if there's any startup out there, I'll invest in you guys. Probably 10 ringgit a day.
Be a first customer.
Right, where you can help shoppers have confidence in the exact amount of things they need, then your game. Like, you might not, because the average, just guys, look, every time you go shopping, the average is in the hundreds. You buy things that you don't need. So if there's anybody out there who's doing it, please hit me up. We'll build your website and then exchange it. All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for you guys are watching. I see there are people watching from Facebook, people watching from YouTube, people watching from LinkedIn. Thank you so much. If you guys like what you guys are hearing, please share, show us some love. If you guys don't like what you're hearing, if you guys feel that we are, not giving you enough value, please let us know as well. Our goal is to
comment down below.
Correct. Our goal is to bring as much value as we can in the most nonchalant way. That's why we have this conversation-ish kind of live stream. You guys can read more about us at www.fixcollab.com. And if you want to put together a low code, no code, but you have no clue whatsoever, you can reach out to us. We can probably set a workshop for you guys. Obviously, it's going to be paid one, but you will save a lot of time and money to put your own tech. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching episode 6. I'm your host, Fitri Joroji, and with Hakim, we want to say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.